So let's add the moon. Let's duplicate this slide once again and delete all all the titles. Okay. Now let's also rotate Earth a little bit, just to show that we're rotating it every time. Let's put it somewhere here in the corner, and now let's insert the 3D model of the moon. I don't even know which one to choose. Moon or the moon? That's not very helpful. Let's try this one. Okay, this is good. So this is how we usually see the moon. Yeah, something like this. It's also not very easy to rotate it because sometimes I want in a certain position and it doesn't work in this position. Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's leave it like this. And let's position it here. So we want to make the moon appear. So let's copy it from the final slide to the previous slide and put it outside of the slide again, like this. So you see, Earth from here will go more on the left and the moon will appear here. And now, since we are making this big transition, let's also change the position of our background slightly, just to show some movement. So we can position it more on the right, like this, for example. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Let's discover. Has one moon. All right. Okay. Slight mistake here, but the idea is good. Let's also rotate the moon. Okay, so let's rotate it like this, which is fake obviously because the moon doesn't rotate this way. It rotates in a different way around the Earth. It's tidally locked. So all right, so this is our moon. And maybe, you know what, let's also illustrate the fact that it's tidally locked. Let's make them rotate around each other. So let's duplicate this slide. Let's keep Earth rotating like this a little bit. And let's put it here. And now let's rotate the moon so it fits exactly the other side of the Earth. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. You can kind of realize that the moon is tightly locked to the Earth, right? We can also move the background once again. Let's put it down a bit on the left. It doesn't even matter how you move it. It's just that any movement itself looks really cool. Right. Okay. This is good. And now finally, once we are done talking about this, let's zoom in to Mars. So let's duplicate this slide and let's make the moon and the Earth go away from it, okay? While rotating a little bit, just for the animation, like this. And now let's add 3D model of Mars. This one here. Okay, so I actually have to add this model on this slide here because this is where Mars is going to appear. So we want to make it big. We want to show the Valles Marineris and the Tarsis Bulge. So this is Valles Marineris and this is the Tarsis Bulge. Anyway, it's really cool. Oh, and also put it a little bit down so we can see the polar caps. So put it here, and now on this slide, let's make it rotate correctly. So like this. Now let's make it extremely small. And if we manage to, let's position it outside of the slide here. So let's see what happens. All right, almost there. It looks awkward because we already see Mars before Earth and Moon disappear. So let's put them even further. So yeah, if you work and if you do this kind of things with the morph transition, like I said, you will be working a lot outside of your slide. So yeah, see, it already looks better. And of course, we can change the background and make it zoom in like this and see if the quality remains. Let's see what it does. All right, and now we have Mars, which is not very well positioned, but that's not a big deal. So as you can see on my screen, PowerPoint already starts to be a bit slow. We can see a drop in frame rate, and this is mostly due to the power of my computer, which is actually powerful, but now we have a bit too many 3D objects and stuff happening on the slides. But it's not a problem. When you will register your timings and when you will export the final video, none of this will be seen. It's normally supposed to still work correctly, and you will not see these little frame rate problems. So let's watch this from the beginning. So Earth, the only planet in our solar system which harbors life because it has liquid water. It also has a magnetic field, and it has one moon. And by the way, the proportion between the planet and the moon is the biggest one among all the other planets of our solar system, which is pretty unique. So let's take a look at this moon. Yeah, here it is. The moon rotates around Earth and it's tidally locked. So that's why we always see the same side. Now let's take a look at Mars. Yay! All right, really cool. So we can also keep going like this and do Jupiter and do Pluto, and there are many other planets which have their 3D models created inside PowerPoint. But also, I think you got the point with this background movement that I'm doing and the general placement of objects outside of the slide and then making their transitions using the morph transition here, which is really, really cool.